Alright, I think we're up. Let's see. How's it going, YouTube? Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on where you're at. It's like in Warlord, the stash. I'm going to do a little quick update video for you guys. We've been officially announced what our buffs, nerfs are for this week. Hint, hint, nothing's changed. But we'll go over it and talk about very quickly some suggested rushes for you guys to do so that you can get money and get your build going. In the background, excuse me, I have the weekly competition, the free server, which, I'm not really worried about right now because what I'm going to end up doing, per some requests, I'm going to start doing some walkthrough, beginning intro, starting the map, and getting all the way through to gasoline. And we're gonna start. After I'm done recording this, I'm gonna get this uploaded, and then by the morning I'll have the other walkthrough loaded, so you guys can have that for the start of the weekly tomorrow. I'm gonna pick a forest square, more than likely. I'm not gonna do desert because I don't have the time for desert. I'll eventually get to that. Uh, I'll eventually get to that for you guys. But no, I'm gonna do forest square or plains, probably forest. Do a wool rush without my wheat stand, so that way you guys can see, the difference it obviously it makes. But it's not much more complicated. It just takes a lot longer because instead of having to just have your ranchers constantly grabbing feed, like you can see, the wheat stand is automatically filling. As soon as they grab a feed, that feed stand is being automatically filled by the wheat stand. The feed mill is being automatically fed wheat by the wheat stand. So the big difference when you're doing a rush without the NFT is that you're going to have farmers constantly getting wheat and putting it in the silo. And once it's in the silo, then the ranch hands have to go get it. So it is a slower process for sure, but it is still not much more difficult. It's just more time consuming. And the whole thing with the beginning, starting out in the beginning, is you trying to rush to get to where you're selling your final product. So on that note, I will go ahead and pull up our information. Right, yeah. Boom. Okay, so I've said it before and I will say it again. If you are not on the Gala Games Discord channel, you are behind as far as information that is being delivered to us, the players. That is where all the mods are, all the admins, all the company men. They're all on the Discord and they're answering questions constantly. So, not that I don't mind taking your questions, and I know the other YouTubers doing TOWNSTAR don't mind taking your questions, but if you want the official resource, this is where you go. So, that said, it was announced today that, scroll down for you guys, it's announced today that they are working on something big for TOWNSTAR, and they've decided to keep the next 2 weeks the exact same as it was for the past 2 weeks. Good news, that means they're still giving the top 200 players rewards. So if I zoom in a little more on this here. Okay, so once again, these are the rewards that have been the past 2 weeks. The magic number 77 that everybody's trying to get gets 7,777 Gala coins, which I don't know if you have been paying attention or not to. Check this out. Gala got listed on Binance and it took off. It hit almost hit 7.5 cents last night. Now it's leveled back out, but still, it's fantastic news. It was at 20. It was at 2 cents, so it's doubled in price over the past day, and good news. Um, so first place gets 15,000 Gala, second place 10,000, third place 8,000, fourth through 10th place 4,000 Gala. 11th through 20th gets 2,000 Gala. 21st through 50th place gets 1,000 Gala. 51 through 76, which is where I was, gets 800 Gala. 77th place gets the magical 7,777 Gala. 78 through 100 gets 800 Gala. And 101 to 200 gets 400 Gala. So, you're getting something. Top 200. Certainly a better ratio for people getting money. Pardon me. I'm thirsty. So, we zoom back out just a smidge. You can see that basically this is your... I have a feeling they're going to keep this up to date because we haven't really had this where it's an official document from TOWNSTAR or Gala Games telling us what the totality of everything is. So we're going to click on this. It's going to drive us up to this. Okay, it's our current craft points. This link is in the description below of this video, and I'm pretty sure I put it in all the other videos because this is now going to be updated. So now that they have that link up, you can just constantly go to that link and you'll see what's new. So I've already clicked on it and I've brought it up here, and this is our Google Doc. Also, if per some requests, I've started to put below in the description my Citadel of the Wind visualizer code on Google Docs. So you go to Google Docs and the code that's in that text, you copy that and you paste it into visualizer, and bam, you'll have my build up for you guys. So from now on, I'm going to make sure I have that for you all, just so that you've got it and you don't have to manually type it in. I know it's a pain in the butt. And you know, I might as well, because I usually have it. I already have the code anyway, so now it's on Google Docs, so y'all can get to it and everything works out great. So let me move myself out of the way here. Okay, so when we talk about doing a rush, and I had people talking to me on Discord about it, the whole concept of the rush is that you're just trying to sell something that you're selling enough of it that you're going to gain money. You're not going to be losing money, so that you can get a couple $1 million, $10 million, $15 million, and be able to finish your end build. And then by the time you get to your end product, you're not worried about money anymore. So for instance, real quick, we'll go back to excuse me, go back to here. This is not a completed build by any stretch of the imagination, but I am selling uniforms at a rate of 30 something an hour. Okay, my hourly is $62.50. As you can see, I got 13 million. So I'm selling enough product to cover my minute labor cost and also still be gaining money. Okay, so that's really what the rush is trying to do, is get you to a spot where you can just worry about the final product and not worry about money anymore. So I have a baguette build. I have nothing against baguette, but it's got multiple steps, just like cake does, just like blue steel does, and I think that's why the uniforms are so popular. Is it's fairly simple. You don't need much, and you can get the players that have the skins that are getting the speed boost. They're selling 100 uniform an hour, 110 maybe, some 120. The highest I got was like 80, but then it went back down to like 78, 75, 79, somewhere in there, uniforms an hour, which was still good enough to get me in 70, I think it was 75th place. So, batter, this one's a little bit easier to sell. Would I do this as a final product? Probably not. Hold on, let's go real quick. We're going to go down to uniforms. So, uniforms sell... I passed it up. Uniforms sell for 34,450 a piece with 560 points. Okay. So, you sell in groups of 10 or 100. So, selling 10 uniforms is 344,500. And I get 5,600 points. Now, let's compare that with the batter. So the batter gives me more money, but the batter gives me less points. It's all about points at the end of the day. It's not about money. So you see why people are doing uniforms. Blue steel is still the highest selling and most points item. Bread, this needs to be removed off the list. I gotta message him about that. Matter of fact, let me do that real quick. Let me message him on Discord. Bread is still on the Google Doc, as well as some erroneous marks, it looks like. Alright. So, ignore bread. That's not, that used to be a thing, it's not. Brine, not worth your time. Butter, again, butter is not bad, but you only get 153 points, and you can produce it pretty quickly, but I don't think quickly enough to be your in-game product. Grapes, grapes and wine. So when you see the underscore grapes, we're talking about the actual plant that the farmer's picking. When you see without the word grapes, that is the wine, which has to be put in a bottle. Now, this would sell for 420,000 dollars and 6,888 points, or 6,880 points. But it takes a lot to make. You got to have the grapes aren't the problem. It's making the wine bottles. So I mean I don't. I think if people do wine, they stick with Pinot, because to get the wine bottle is the harder part. So they just sell Pinot Noir because the Pinot Noir grapes sell for more. Cake. If you can make cakes, man, cake's not bad. I haven't really tweaked that build much. I felt pretty good about what I had achieved, but I wasn't like super confident about it. But if you want to do cake, it's certainly got a lot of points. And the question is, how many cakes can you make? Cake is like blue steel, but on the food side, so it takes a while to make it. So you're gonna get 44,750 points, but how long is it gonna take you to get that? You know. Um, Hold on one second. I think I got a reply. Yeah. So chromium is along with limestone, what's produced by the mines, and iron. Those are for wine bottles, so you're not really going to make that your in-game product. That's just going to be something that you're building with. Cotton, you need cotton for uniforms. As you can see here, I've got some cotton growing right here. Well, where I'm at. See the cotton? So, cotton is definitely not an in-game product, and it does not sell for enough to really justify it as a rush. Only sells for $350. So that means you sell 10 of these, you only get 3,500. That's not enough. Cotton yarn sells for 32,500. That's not bad. But when you compare it to how much wool yarn sells for, cotton yarn's not worth it. You just sell wool yarn. Or crude oil, it's not worth it. Dough, maybe, but it's only going to sell for 2,700 points. So it's not that much compared to others. Eggs, same thing. Not really going to rush with that. Energy, same thing. Feed. Feed is what we're going to use to gain money at the beginning. Well, let's see. We might not. So, if we sold cotton, it would give us 3,500. If we sell feed, it's going to give us 3,400. So, feed used to be higher. That's why I'm thinking, well, maybe we won't do that. But when I do the startup, the reason I think most of us go with feed is because we already need the feed to do the wool, so we're not double dipping kind of thing. Flour, it's not worth it. It would sell for 20,500. You could start with a flour, but I would transition into the sugar or salt. Gasoline's not worth it because you're trying to get money to be able to produce gasoline. Iron takes too long because you need lumber mills for all that. Jet fuel is a big waste in this game. We still haven't done anything with that. Here's our limestone that we talked about with chromium. Lumber, you can sell lumber, but you need it to build stuff in the beginning. It's not worth it, in my opinion. Milk's not bad. You could do the cow pens. But if you compare wool to milk, wool sells for 45,500. So wool sells for more than the milk does. So what's the point? You might as well just go with wool because it sells for most. I forgot to turn this on. I'm sorry. We'll go back. So again, wool yarn sells for 24,250. So times 10, 242,500. So that's really where you're gonna, in my opinion, where you want to get is you want to use the wool to be able to build up your gas production. And once you've got gas production up, then you can buy a fabric plant, one, and put it right there by where you got your gasoline production, right? And then you can start making wool yarn while you're still making a bunch of wool, so you'll be able to sell both, and then you'll get a lot more money and be able to start building up faster. So I think that's the plan of attack that I'm going to go with when I make the next video. Wood's not worth selling. It's only 2,500. There was a buff for wood about 3 weeks ago, and it was fantastically easy and also kind of boring because it was just like you just started selling and you were already behind. Wine bottles sell for a lot, but they're also very hard to make. Wheat, not worth selling. It's only sells for 3,000. Water drum, no. Water's on there. We're going to talk to him about that. Why is there water? Uniforms, that's what I'm selling in game right now. 10 of those sell for 344,500, and I get 5,600 points every time I sell. Sugarcane is useful if you're doing sugar rush. Sugarcane takes a lot of water, just like pumpkin does. Well, pumpkin takes way more, but the sugarcane, you could do a sugar rush. But you see the discrepancy in this? Sugarcane sells for 4,000, right? Compared to like what wheat does or feed. But then the sugar itself only sells for 31.5. So it sells for less than wool. So again, what's the point? Now, it is cheaper to set up a windmill than it is to set up a sheep pen. Sheep pen costs 40,000, windmill costs 15,000. So you can, if you really wanted to, you could do that route. You could make flour and sell flour right off the bat and then transition to wool. But when I've got the wheat stand, there's no point because I'm just producing the feed already and I can just go that way. But we'll see. Since I'm doing it without the wheat stand, we'll see what happens. Steel sells for 47,768. So you could hypothetically do a steel build where you're just making steel, you're not making blue steel. You can be making steel and uniforms, selling both of those. That would be viable. That way you have two in-game, items. Usually when you're doing blue steel, you have an excess of uniforms because it only takes one uniform per blue steel that you're making, and it takes a lot longer to get all the steel for blue steel. It's kind of up to you how you want to do that. I've never really toyed around with that one, but it's certainly possible. Silica, the biggest nerf of our generation, used to be so much. Everybody used to be doing silica. I got on the silica train, and then they nerfed it. Salt sells for only 20,500. So if you've got an ocean, salt's viable. You need windmills and brine fields. So if you have an ocean, you can put the brine fields along there. Pumpkin pie I've never done, and it is not something I want to do because pumpkin takes 20 water, I think it is. It's an obscene amount of water to grow pumpkins. But you see here we got Pinot Noir grapes. So everybody used to do grape rush, and you could still technically do a grape rush if you wanted to. Maybe I'll do that in one of my next videos. Normally the grapes were selling for like 5,500, so 55,000 for 10. So you were able to build up money super fast, and you could just make a giant field of grapes and just start, and you would just be selling 100 grapes every 6 minutes or something like that was the average. And then here's Pinot Noir, the wine itself, which of course if you're making the wine, that's great. You can get 572,000. But again, to do that you have to have a mountain. You got to make your wine bottles. I haven't really played with making wine. I'm sure it'll happen one day, but it hasn't happened yet. Petroleum's not worth selling. Oak wood's not worth selling. Oak barrels You could if you start getting your mines up and you start get your mines up and you start producing iron instead of selling the iron. You can make oak barrels. That's viable because you'd be getting 55,000 per tin, and that would be faster than wool, hypothetically. Milk again. Milk's only 4,000. So milk sells for 40,000. You know, it's not bad. It's not bad. But wool sells for more, and the cows walk so damn slow, it's ridiculously frustrating. So you may not want to do milk. But yeah, there we go. I went over the list. Like I said, I'm gonna have this link below the video. Um, Go ahead and check out that. Obviously ask me any questions you have. Let me see if I can. There we go. I'm back. Back, baby. Yeah. If you got any questions, let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and get this uploaded, and then I'm going to start recording the no NFT, no wheat stand, wool rush to gasoline production build, walkthrough, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm gonna get on that in a little bit. Good luck tomorrow. I'll see you then. And if you've got any questions, of course, leave them below. Hit me up on Discord. You name it, I'll be here. I am Lycan Warlord, the Stash. See y'all tomorrow.